What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show, man. Recap with Mo. Well, we're getting ready to get into a brand new episode breakdown of Tyler Perry's SISTAS. But before we get into this thing, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit and that's going down, alright? So the episode we're getting ready to get into is for season 7, episode number 21, titled Penultimate. Now, the synopsis states, Jordan and Fatima engage in ugly battles with Gary on Andi's behalf. Zac and Aaron bond over baby furniture. Karen and Pam make peace. Danni has a therapy session hoping to figure out her love life. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Alright, y'all, so we kicked this episode off where we left off with Brother Jordan coming into Andi's office demanding to know what's going on. So he kicks in the door, breaks the door off the hinges, glasses everywhere, and Andi is over there crying, balled up in the corner. And no, that ain't happened on this episode. No, but he did come in and want to know what was going on. Why did she choose Gary over him? Is it true? Are y'all together? Whoa. So, of course, she's sitting over there like, you need to leave. He was like, no, I ain't going no daggone where until I get my answer, right? So, of course, she's like, look, you just don't understand. It's just, well, I'm going to be honest with you. And he was like, okay, well, what is it? She was like, well, it's Gary. And I was like, okay, so are you going to tell him what it is? No, she ain't going to tell him nothing. She going to lie still. Like, I do not understand what the heck is going on here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm lost. Like, you've had ample opportunities to tell the truth and get yourself out of this situation. Like, let's get done with this Negro across the water over here. Somebody got to do something, right? So anyhow, he tells her that he knows that Gary is up to something and that he has something on Andi. Andi's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. Be honest. Because now this man is going to go hard in the paint on Gary. And if you know what you know and not conveying this information to him, then he's going to respond differently. So just go ahead and give him the heads up so he doesn't make a fool out of himself. You see what I'm saying? But instead of doing that, you keep the information to yourself, sitting over there letting that one tear roll down your cheek like you really cared as much. Anyhow, moving on from there, y'all. So we head over to Sabrina's crib where we see her coming out of her room and she receives a phone call from Karen. So, of course, Karen is like, I'm glad to see that you got some rest, definitely due to you having your procedure today. And we're going to be down there to support you. So all of the sisters are going to meet up down there because she don't got a man coming with her. So, of course, they're going to be there to support her, of course. Now, of course, Sabrina feels some type of way about it because she did not think that this would be the outcome of, procreation for her. But, it is what it is at the moment. So she stated to Karen that, yes, I am nervous, but I'm also a little sad due to the fact that, I wish that this would have been the man that I love, that was giving me the seed instead of a man that's a co-worker who's just nice, right? Now, since we're talking about the co-worker, there's a knock on the door. So, of course, Sabrina's like, who in the world is this early in the morning or whatnot? Whoa. So anyhow, Sabrina goes to the door and it just so happens to be Damani, the nice co-worker, right? And the way that he was looking, he was dressed up, got the little bouquet of flowers in his hands. I was like, oh, he got that gleam in his eye. I said, old boy didn't come to play today. So he got something to get off his chest, and I'm quite sure he's going to convey that information to Sabrina. So anyhow, we're going to get to that in a little bit, right? So anyhow, we head over to Karen's new salon where we see Karen cleaning around Pam's shop or whatnot. And of course, Trey walks in, and of course he's like, hey, what's up, shorty? How you doing? And Karen's response is, So now Trey's sitting over here like, for real? Like, you going to talk like that to me? Like, to me? And of course, Karen turns around and she was like, yes. So anyhow, he was like, what's good? Like, oh, this got something to do with Pam blowing up or whatnot. So she's successful. Now you upset about that, right? And of course, she has to debunk that by telling him like, look, this ain't got nothing to do with Pam. This has everything to do with you and old girl that I saw you with outside on that wall lip locked, right? And of course, he was like, huh? And she was like, yeah, I saw you. So, of course, he don't even have to go through all of that. So, anyhow, he goes on to say, like, man, look, me and your girl, honestly, we ain't put no boundaries on nothing. Like, we ain't made no commitments. So, of course, he was like, well, does Pam know that? Because she's walking around the salon talking about you the one. And it's like, oh, for real? Like, bro, you knew that. You knew that. So anyhow, getting back to the story here. So Karen pretty much tells Trey that he needs to be upfront and be honest with Pam, and she's not really trying to get into it, but of course I'm quite sure that she would tell her if she needs to, right? So anyhow, going on to see somebody talking about their issues is Sister Danni at her apartment, sitting down talking to her therapist over the phone, which I'm glad to see her talking it out instead of beating it out, right? Because we already know how Danni gets down. So, of course, she's on the phone and she's talking all of her issues about Tony, Sister Soldier, and them daggone kids, right? So she's really trying to figure out what to do because she likes Tony, but at the same time, she knows that Sister Soldier, Tiffany, still wants him back because she's sending him pictures. She doesn't know how to deal with this. So what should she do? Now, if I was the therapist and I was telling her my thoughts about it, I would tell her to leave Tony. Like, because it doesn't take that daggone long for somebody to get it through their head unless they crazy. So, I do not believe Tiffany is crazy. I do not think Sister Soldier is crazy one bit. I think she knows what she wants. Danni knows what she wants. At the same time, I do not believe that Tony knows what he wants. Because if Tony actually knew what he wanted, this would have been deaded a long time ago. There's no need for her sending me pictures if I've already told her there's no chance in the world for us to get back together. Please stop doing it. All right? Because if you can't honor me, you can't honor my new girlfriend or whatnot, then the only conversation we're going to have is about the daggone kids. All right? And honestly, I don't think he wants to get rid of Tiffany. I think he wants to leave that door open just in case. He want to eat his cake over here, and he want to cut a few slices over here back at his mama's crib. I'm just... Go ahead and give me a little slice. Anyhow, moving on from there, man. We head back over to the law firm where we see Andi is still tore up about the situation because Jordan just walked out. In walks Fatima. Fatima's trying to assist her, trying to calm her down. Now, of course, Andi is like, he's messing up my life, and, I gotta marry him. And, of course, Fatima's trying to talk her off the ledge, but, of course, Andi, for some daggone reason, just isn't getting it. What type of attorney is she that she just cannot get nothing done? Like, go to the authorities. Tell them what's going on with this harassment. Whatever it is, like, tell them the whole scheme. So if anything comes out, then daggone it, you are in front of it. Jordan is in front of it. Like, everybody's in front of it. So when it does come out, like, we good. Like, we already knew this was coming. This is false news, as somebody else likes to say. Like, let's go ahead and do that. Like, I don't. Let's dead this story, Tyler. Like, this right here. This ain't working, bro. Because this is just way too unbelievable. Like, I don't know anybody doing this. Like, for real. Like, for real. So, anyhow, maybe it's somebody. You know what? I take that back. I take that back. But anyhow, getting back to the story, though. So, we see Trey and Pam having a conversation at Karen's salon. Now, from Pam's response, she obviously knew of his ex. Now, I'm not sure if she knew what he was doing when he was doing it on the sidewalk, but she definitely knew who she was because her response told it all. Now, Trey goes on to tell Pam that, hey, man, your girl is good. Like, she's a good friend. So, of course, after hearing that, Pam felt some type of way about it. She was like, I accused her of being jealous, and I simply thought that she was trying to take away from me. But honestly, she was looking out for you, Pam. That's what she was doing as a friend. So, of course, after heeding, the words of Trey, she decided to give her a little bit of the profit from roots to riches. So maybe they can rekindle what they got going on, and maybe Karen can pay her daggone bills, right? So anyhow, going on from there, We now head over to Sabrina's crib where we see Danni and Sabrina having a little kickback on the couch or whatnot. He's drinking something. I'm not sure what it is, but of course you can tell that he's real comfortable right now. He's feeling the vibe. And of course, they talking about the whole process. He conveys to her that, hey, my blood work came back. Everything is good. So my soldiers are ready to march on, right? So of course he was like, oh, I'm super excited about that. And he could tell that she's excited, and he gets excited at the same daggone time because now this brother got his hands on her hands and she's looking at her hand, looking back at him, and he got the fingers in between her fingers. And I was like, oh. I said, oh, when you put the fingers between the fingers, that's something right there. That's a connection point right there. If it's just on top, that's nothing. But when you yeah. Yeah, he owned to something right here. Like, I do believe that if somebody didn't knock at the door, then it would have been another type of conversation going on because she was feeling the vibe as well. By the way, the knock on the door just so happens to be Rich, her existing boyfriend. And of course, he got something to say. So he cheesing when he outside. But when he comes in, he's like, hey, what's going on in here? What's going on in here? What y'all got going on? He picked up the little yellow roses. I was like, hold on, bro, that's disrespectful. So now, I told y'all, he's in his feelings. Like, he mad at old boy for being over there in his three-piece. Like, why is he over here? And of course, he don't want to talk to Danni. He want to talk directly to Sabrina, but he's talking about Danni in his face. So of course, any man is going to respond when you're talking about me in front of me. So anyhow, Danni tells him, hey man, don't let this three-piece fool you, bro. Like, we can get down in business. I said, yeah. Now, of course, it would take brown skin to come in there and calm everything down. See, that's why women are needed, man. Listen. In the calm of the storm, man. So, of course, she calms everything down. She apologizes to Danni. Danni decides to leave. And Rich is sitting over here like, yeah, man, good job reading the room, bruh. Good job reading the room. And I'm sitting over here looking at Rich like, bruh, like, you did all of that. You said all of that. And when Danni leaves, you leave. Like, what was the purpose? Like, you didn't stay. And he talking about good luck with old boy sperm. Like, bro, what was the purpose, man? And then going back real quick, did y'all catch that piece where Sabrina was like what's going on? Like, why are you mad at him because you not giving me what I need? So he giving it to me, and he was like, oh yeah, he just willingly giving it to you, right? Yeah, he giving it to him because he wants something else too. He want that real. Ain't nothing the real. He was going to tell her to forego the hospital and we can work it out our own way. Don't worry about going to the hospital, Sabrina. yeah, he got to go through that procedure. Anyhow, getting back to the subject. Now we head over to Hayden and Tamara, who's arguing about who's doing what with who and when, right? Now she's going off on him about Miss Marie. He's going off because he wants to know what's in her phone. Now, we already know the real roots to riches over here because if you get in this device, you're going all the way down to the roots, all right? Because she got intel on Fatima. She got information about Madam. She got information about Hayden, Gary, on up the ladder, right? So, of course, no, she's definitely not giving up that phone. Now, of course, he's calling her out about it, but she's calling him out about old girl with her hands down his pants, of course, and he can't really refute that, but he's going to lie about it. All right? No, that wasn't what you saw. All right? So, anyhow, he storms out. And then, of course, he throws something or whatnot, misses, of course, and then there's a knock on the door. Now, it just so happens to be Fatima this time. So I was like, daggone, did he not see you walk up to the door? Because immediately as he left, you came up. So I was like, dang, like, y'all like in a tag team wrestling match. But anyhow, so when she walks in, she wants to know if Tamara knows anything about Gary doing anything on the side against Andi or towards Jordan. Now, of course, Tamara tells her that she doesn't even know what she's talking about. She didn't even know that, that Gary was still messing around with Andi because he been getting this good cookie right here. And she lets Fatima know that. Now, of course, Fatima got to give her that West Tennessee stare down. Now, for all of you who have never been to West Tennessee, no parts of the South, listen, when they give you that toe-to-head look, they are uploading intel. Some stuff you will never know about. You will never be privy of their information. But trust and believe, you make them mad enough, you will hear exactly what they've uploaded. I'm trying to tell you, man. Listen, when Fatima looks her up and down and she says, look, you've already told me everything I needed to know. She's letting y'all know she done uploaded. Like, she good. Like, she got all the intel she needs, right? Just watch and see. So anyhow, going on from there, though, we now head back over to the law firm where we see Andi is in her office and she receives a call from the receptionist who is telling her that Danni is in the lobby waiting on her, and she tells her to send her back. So of course, when Danni comes in, she wants to talk to Andi because she's still confused of why she would love to go back to Gary and actually give this man another opportunity to ruin her life. Now, for some strange reason, Andi still cannot be straightforward with her friends, with her girlfriends, right? Because she's not giving her the eye contact. Danni can tell that, and she's telling her, like, this is BS. And since we're already talking about the BS, let's go ahead and talk about Gary. So Gary is at the office, of course, working on whatever Ponzi scheme he's working on now. In walks Jordan. Now, he's not alerted at all. He feels like this is easy breezy. So Jordan comes in. He really doesn't get up from the desk at all. But Jordan comes in to threaten him about the situation. Like, what did you do to Andi? What did you do to my sister? Whoa. Now, Gary is laughing in this man's face. He already knew that Jordan didn't want that smoke. Like, you got too much riding. You got a campaign and all of that stuff. But if you would have had little JoJo or somebody like that with you, maybe you could have had something go down another way. But unfortunately, Gary is not fearing you at all because he already knows that you just going to do what you do. You're going to say what you need to say and you're going to move on because you got too much to lose. So anyhow, from there, we head over to Rich's juice bar and we see him about to clean a hole into a table. Like, it's nothing on it, bro. And you still wiping it down. Now, of course, Jordan comes in there and he's like, hey, man, you all right? He was like, yeah, man, I'm just going through some stuff, right? And he was like, you too? So, of course, they both, communicate their differences and what they got going on with their significant others. And then in walks Tony. Now, Tony is having some issues as well. And, at the end of the day, they're all going through some problems. Jordan is like, look, man, we're a sad trio. Like, your wife is trying to get you back. She throwing a monkey wrench in your relationship. My girl is getting ready to marry a psychotic Negro over here, and then your girl is getting ready to take somebody else's semen. So we just messed up over here, right? So anyhow, from there, now we head over to the clinic where we see Sabrina is in the waiting room, and in walks Maurice. So of course Maurice is there to support her as well. And you could tell that Sabrina is nervous about the situation, but had no fear because Mr. Danni is here. So he done came in all suited and booted and ready to go, sitting there to be a support to Sabrina. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a threat for Brother Rich, and he knows it. This brother is here to give her what she needs, and he gonna supply her. While Brother Rich is sitting over there at the fuel bar, frustrated and mad about the situation. It is what it is at this time. Now, since we're talking about the situation, so Maurice is talking about them co-parenting. Now, Sabrina is sitting here talking about, look, there would be absolutely no co-parenting. Now, she's cool with it. But looking at old boy over here to the right, he feeling some type of way about that because he doesn't feel the same exact way, but he's telling her what she needs to hear. So I'm waiting on that conversation to drop, a little bit harder. Now, we'll see if we get to that point, but it is what it is, right? So moving on from there, I believe that we head over to see Andi and Danni leaving the law firm or attempting to leave the law firm. It really wasn't a whole lot of stuff being talked about in this area, so we're just pretty much going to skip over this. This is when they ran into Hayden. Hayden has something to say about them leaving. He tells Andi that they have an appointment with Miss Marie once again. And I'm like, daggone it, these folks meet all the time, right? So anyhow, going on from there, we now head over to Gary's office where we see Fatima is now waiting outside for him to come out. So when he comes out, she was like, look, I've been waiting on you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So they confront one another. He pretty much, long story short, tells her, look, it's nothing you can do about it. Your girl is marrying me, and it's nothing you and them ghetto whatevers can do about it, right? As a matter of fact, go ahead and tell your man that his money is doing me well right now. I'm taking good care of his money as well. Remember, he couldn't get that money back. So that's a whole nother situation. So after he's done talking with her, he tells the security guard to grab her purse. And then the security guard grabs her purse, then pushes her down, and then throws the purse back on her. So I was like, what sense does that make? Like, you're not the brightest. If I had something in my purse and you push me down to the ground, wouldn't I pull it out to protect myself? So I said, look, man, y'all got to do a better job. So anyhow, I hated that they had pushed Miss Fatima down to the ground like that with that blue outfit on, looking good. And I mean looking good, you heard me? So anyhow, going back to the clinic, we see Sabrina, Danni, and Maurice. They're waiting on Sabrina's friends to show up, as well as the doctor. Andi and the rest of the crew finally show up. Long story short, there really wasn't a whole lot going on right here. There was some comical areas in this scene. The only thing that really happened of importance was the phone call from Gary that Andi had to, step away from the group a little bit. But outside of that, it really wasn't a whole lot of nothing. So now when Andi decides to step away from the group, she gets on the phone with Gary. Gary pretty much tells her that whatever she got going on by sending her friends over there or whatnot, Jordan and Fatima, it's not going to work. What you need to do is quit all of this and meet me at the altar like Jagged is. I said, what? Meet me at the altar in your white dress. We not getting no younger. You might as well do it. Daggone it. Come on, I wish I could sing it, man. My voice ain't the same tonight. So anyhow, going on from there, though, we head back over to Karen's crib where we see Miss Lisa, Aaron, and Zac. Now, Zac hasn't even started. Aaron is almost done, but Zac is still over here struggling. Some people just ain't got it. But I will tell you this. It would help if you would read the instructions, something that Zac opted out of doing, right? Now, Aaron tells him that he read the instructions and he's almost done. But there are some people out there, ladies and gentlemen, who can read the instructions and still not get it accomplished, all right? So, it is what it is. Miss Lisa has to break some things down for the gentleman. First and foremost, telling Zac, you just ain't got it. I mean, this just isn't your gift. And it is what it is. Everybody just isn't good at building or putting things together. But on the flip side, he's very good at finance. So she tells them both that you're going to have to lean on each other's strengths and weaknesses. So some of the things that Aaron is good at, you're going to have to allow him to take the lead on those things. And then the things that Zac is great at, you're going to have to allow him to do those things. It is what it is. They got two baby daddies. Y'all going to have to do... Y'all gonna have to deal with it as it is, right? So anyhow, going on from there, we head back over to the juice bar where we see the fellas having a conversation about babies, right? And they're wanting to know why it is that, Rich really doesn't want to give up the seed. When you got a woman, that's all she wants from you. If you love her, you feel that she's the one, why aren't you giving her what she wants? When this man that does not love her, but strongly likes her, is willing to give her what she wants. And Rich knows that this man over here wants to give her more than what he's giving her. So he feels threatened by Danni, right? So look, you're going to have to make a life decision at this moment. So, of course, he's sitting here and he's listening to the guys. And Tony tells him that, you can have a family and be successful. As a matter of fact, sometimes, being successful, but also having kids at the same time, pushes you to even do more because you want the best for your children. And I absolutely agree. But your kids also want to spend time with you. So you just can't always focus on the business aspect of things. So anyhow, going on from there, as the guys are still talking, Rich is sitting here and he's like, look, man, I can't even talk no more. I got to go down there where my girl is because I'm hoping that it's not too late because I want to give her my seed. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I said, are you sure? And Rich turned around and looked at me and said, yeah, I'm sure. So I was like, man, go ahead and get your woman. So anyhow, he floats up out, and I guess he's headed over there to the hospital. But while he's on his way, the doctor is coming into the room now to come and get Sabrina. Long story short, she can only take one person with her, right? So of course, one of the girls get ready to go to the back, and Sabrina pretty much tells them that she's taking the money. So of course the girls are feeling some type of way, but Danni feels good about it because she was like, I understand why. All right, maybe they want to do it the natural way, as I stated before, right? So anyhow, he gladly goes back there to the room, and then all of a sudden we see Rich coming in. Now, it's a little bit too late for you to be coming in trying to figure out what's going on, but you're not too late for the procedure that has yet to happen. I get it, but I don't know how far he's gone. Is she going to accept him back? Because about time he gets back there to the room, Sabrina, the doctor, everybody is surprised. They wanted to know, why is he back there? He was like, look, am I too late? And I'm sitting here like, no, not really. Technically. But emotionally, you may be. Because the way you treated her, the way that you were so dogmatic in your approach, like, you didn't handle this with care. The way you stormed out her crib, like, she loves you, but I don't know, man. She may take you back. It's up to, Miss Brown Sugar herself. But who knows? She decided to take the money back to the back. So you might have to sit outside because she only got one guest for this ride, bro. So I don't know, man. So anyhow, going on from there, though, we head over to see Fatima. Now, Fatima is on the phone dialing some digits to somebody we've been saying bring along, tag along for a long daggone time. So she finally has decided to pick up the phone to reach out to Miss Madam herself. I told y'all it was coming. I felt it was coming. Daggone it. About time. Somebody has to do something. Now, if Gary is able to get out of this, I don't know what else to do. I'm going to have to stop watching. I'm going to have to stop watching. I don't know what else to say, man. But daggone it, man. Whew. Yeah, that's hard, man. But anyhow, last but not least, let's go ahead and talk about this. So back at the clinic, we see the girls and we see Maurice sitting down in the waiting room. Now, Maurice is trying to find out a little bit of information about Miss Marie Willis and her husband. Now, of course, Andi conveys to him that she is not able to share any information about her client, which he gets mad about, but he was like, okay, I'm just going to pull it up on my device, which he does. So when he pulls up the image, he immediately shows it to Andi, and Andi confirms that is Miss Willis' ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, right? And he's like, Roger? Well, I know him as such and such, right? And I'm not going to say it right here on the platform. Now, she was like, huh? And I was like, oh my gosh, like for real? Now, this is the dirt that Miss Marie was looking for, and she was trying to keep all her money to herself. Now, if Andi is able to reveal this, then Hayden, all that stuff he was going through, all that stuff he was going through, it didn't even matter. It doesn't even matter at all. Nothing even matters. Oh, man. Anyhow, man, that's the end of the episode. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit and if that's going down. With that being said, man, I'll holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.